What's a belief or maybe a behavior that you had, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago that you now see as misguided?
Not committing.
Not committing. Interesting. Tell me more.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We are reacting to this short clip of Hormozi and whoever this other person is talking about you need to focus. And he starts off big.
Say more about that.
He starts
10 or
off
15
big.
years ago that you now see as misguided.
Not committing.
Not committing. If commitment is our issue, what is the point in continually ongoing, pushing forward, pursuing, doing whatever we must do? Because what we must do is afraid of committing, then we have other fears within the higher standards of our being. For me, I have high standards, so that's why I like to talk a lot about these things. Which means I'm not going to stop posting reaction of videos because I know it is good for me and it's good for my reaction. And hopefully that makes sense.
Not committing. Interesting. Tell me more. Say more about that.
So, I defined commitment as the elimination of alternatives, which was I had
The elimination of any alternative that does not fuel your passion, that does not fuel your energy, that does not fuel whatever it is you are truly going through. Which sorry. Which of course, not committing is the issue. Change the alternative, change the direction, change the mindset, change the mentality. Because if you do not change a single thing, you will not learn, you will not grow, you will not achieve the version of success that you want to achieve.
the misconception that I will work on multiple things and see which one works, when in the reality, any of them would have worked if I had worked on it. And so
All of them would have worked if you had more stuff done. More stuff done for the business, more stuff done for school, more stuff done for content. If you want to start off in content, be my guest. You're going to be like me, having very little views and sometimes a big blow-up video every here and there. But that's pretty much all that content is getting the same amount of views and building your community up to where you see fit, which is why I'm using this as a free school, free checkpoint. That's why I post my school videos on here. Because without my school, I am nothing. That is why I have it in my bio. So people can look on it, click on it, and see my school for what it truly is. Which is why I'm keeping my school $10 for the next 2 months. And then $30 also on top of that. And then the $200 is going to stay at $200. Then once those 2 months end up, I'm going to do $100 and then $150 and then $200 per month. So it's not that much. It's just like a little. The first checkpoint is like the $100 is about going out to a fancy dinner. The $150 is about groceries. The $200 is about groceries. So I'm giving you guys the knowledge. I'm giving you guys the power to do with what you want and do with what you are wanting to do with it. That's why I'm going to make it $10 and $30 so then you guys can actually look at my content, see if it's good, see if you enjoy the video, see if you enjoy the content, because I have a feeling I've learned a lot from doing about however many school posts. I have about 5 pages worth of school posts. And I think it's 30 on each page. So what's 30 times 5? Let's do 25.5 times 5. 127.5 school posts, which is about equivalently to 180 or 130. Equivalent to 130. And some people post 100 schools per day. Which is why I would love to make my school my main go-to, and content my main go-to, which is why within these 2 years, I'm going to try to post 5 to 10 videos per day. so I can get more traction on both either my school or just regular stuff.
Just never get past the point of critical mass. And so the easiest analogy I have for this is imagine you want to start a party, right? It's very hard to start a good party. Like you have to invite a lot of people, you have to prepare, you have to do all this stuff. But if you are successful enough and get enough people to the party can eventually take off on its own and kind of become its own thing. Now, to the same degree, imagine you try to start 4 parties on the same night at the same time. It's almost impossible because you only have the same resources. You have the same number of people, you have the same amount of money. It's very, very hard to do that. And so this is what I see the vast majority of smaller entrepreneurs doing, is that they're trying to start 4 parties and say, well, whatever party takes off is the one that I'm gonna invest more in, but none of them will take off. And that's why in the beginning it feels very manual, very like push. You're like, I promise the party's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome, but who else is coming? No one, right? But if you just put all, if you're like, I'll be there, I'm not doing anything else. This is all I'm going to be doing is trying to make sure this party's amazing. The likelihood that party 1 is good and then 2 gets good enough that you don't have to push to keep growing it is good. It's just kind of a microcosm for a business, just on a much shrunken time scale. But I think for that reason, that is probably the one reason that people.
I'd like to give myself a round of applause, and to everybody that has been on this journey. I have hit 400 videos. So that requires a 400 video learned lesson, and I'll do that here soon. But yes, let's continue.
Don't get what they want is because they spread themselves too thin. You have such limited resources in the beginning. It's like, I think this is the piece that people misunderstand. Like you
have such limited resources when you begin. Whatever you're starting out with, knowing that it's your capacity and it will grow. Your capacity, your mentorship, your sponsorship, your field studies will all grow you into the person to where you want to see fit, and grow you into the version of yourself to where you want to believe yourself to be at.
Functionally, no money. If you're an individual, you have basically no money when it comes to a corporate scale, right? You have almost no money, and you have almost no time. Again, compared to 100 people,
right?
You have no money, no time, and so you have such limited resources that the actual skill that's missing is strategy. And so strategy is prioritization of resources. So said simply, like, what do we do, and more importantly, what do we not do with the few things that we can do? Out of the few things that we can do, and so just being able to just say, you know what, all 4 of these parties could be good. It could be a Pirates theme, it could be a Greek theme, it could be a whatever theme, but I'm just going to try and make this pirate theme one good. That's all I'm going to do. And the thing is that we then think, oh, well, this succeeded because it was a pirate theme. No, it just succeeded because that was the one that you worked on. So as long as fundamentally, like, you let people know about your stuff, you have a conversion mechanism, and the thing that you sell costs significantly less than the thing you sell at the price you sell it for, you'll probably be okay. But people just spend forever trying to figure out which party theme is going to be the best theme. And you just don't need to do that, because as soon as you pick, you eliminate the alternatives, you commit, and then you're good to go.
How did you figure out that was the problem that was keeping you from success? Or did something just eventually take off through sheer brute force and you realized that you wasted your time on the other initiatives?
No, nothing took off.
Yeah.
And people may be
nothing takes off, which means the only content that will do better is the good content that continuously does better over and over again. It compounds, it stacks on itself.
Surprised by this.
That's why posting content sometimes you'll get 0 views, which means it's not that it's bad content, it's just nobody sees your shit, which means then you give up after 6 months of doing it, and then you just give up, and then you lose all hope, and then you just don't do anything about it. You can do something about it now if you want to get the work that is done with.
I was probably making $a few million a year, not income, revenue, between like 9 different businesses.
Yeah, oof, that stresses me out just thinking about it.
I was 26 at the time. And I like to tell people I have 9 businesses, but like that's because I thought that's what successful entrepreneurs did. When in reality, it's like, no, you make one business extremely successful, and then you just make investments and you don't spend your time. You can only be CEO of one thing. And so I was CEO of 9 businesses and I almost died. Got DUI, head-on collision, whole thing. And then I had somebody thankfully say, hey, you were spread too thin. The stress will kill you, quite literally, and you need to make decisions. The difficulty was, for me, I was the rainmaker in all the businesses. And so I basically was just killing myself to generate income for all of them. And almost nothing was left over every month because I had to pay people to do everything else because that was the only thing that I was doing. And so Layla obviously came into my life, not obviously, but Layla came into my life. And she said, hey, Genius, wouldn't it be cool if there's this one thing that you do that seems to work better than the others, but we haven't given it a chance because you're only giving 2 hours a week to it.
Yeah.
What if you spent all your time on that? And so I thought that logic made sense.
Yeah.
And
If it's on content, if it's on business, if it's on your school, take time out of your day and actually do the things that you want to do. Because at the end of the day, so if you're doing content, if you're doing social work, if you're doing anything for your business, you need to put energy to it, into the bottle, so then you can empty out that bottle and try all over again. This is my 10th ever YouTube channel, 10th ever Instagram account, 10th ever YouTube channel, 10th ever TikTok. I've tried and I've failed at all of them, and I'm still going to continue on doing, because I know my videos will do good. It just will take time, effort, and consistent action.
Clearly what I was doing was not working. And so I had to have all the hard conversations, and I lined them up over 48 hours. I literally called every partner that I had with all the other businesses and said, I'm out, and you can have everything. And when I made that call, the people that were in my life were like, you worked for years to build these businesses, and like, what are you thinking? Like, why don't you sell them for more money? And I just
went out
basically,
tomorrow, right?
yeah, exactly. Because I fire sold it all. What was really interesting is that over the next 6 months, I made more money than I would have made from the sale of all those businesses put together by just focusing on one thing, which is why I've been such an advocate of it. And I repeat that theme because the thing is that focus never gets easier. It's kind of like an addiction. Like, you have to beat it every day.
Real quick, if you were a business owner and you're
That's all I have for you guys for this video, so like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, you need to focus and you need to lock in. Whatever it is, do what you gotta do, get it done with today, and call it good. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.